Vista mode, you can use Connect or you can use a controller. I'm going to use a controller so that I'm not standing in your way, but you'll understand how it works with Connect as well. So Auto Vista mode is a brand new experience. There's no other game, there's no other video, there's no other website that gives you the experience that this is doing. And using Connect, the way you control it is you lean to the right, you move around the car, lean to the left, move around the car, you can step back. You can even crouch down and get in really close and check out all the amazing detail on the car itself. But we also want the cars to be very interactive, to get people thinking about cars as more than just something from point A to point B or something to race, but thinking about the technology, the history, the anecdotes. And we wanted the cars to be interactive. So with Connect, you can reach your hand out and open up the door. But the cars open up a lot more than that. Now this allows you to lean around, lean in close, and really check out the detail on the car. Carbon fiber, all the detail around the engine. And around the car there are various points of interest. These are places where you can reach your hand out and get more information on the car. So we'll play this one.
Der selbstsaugende 6,3 Liter V8-Motor leistet 579 PS. Damit beschleunigt der Wagen von 0 auf 100 in 3,6 Sekunden und erreicht 317 Stundenkilometer.
Now obviously that point of interest is a little bit more technical. It's more information-based. But we wanted the points of interest to be interesting and entertaining as well. So we got into a long-term creative partnership with Top Gear out of the UK. And we're able to use Jeremy Clarkson to provide more context around the car.
This is not just the greatest car Mercedes makes. Right now, I think it's the greatest car in the world. It's more powerful than a Ferrari 458, it's a little bit louder than a Lamborghini, and it's way more fun than the 911 RS GT Turbo 3S or whatever this week's Ultimate Beetle is called.
Now obviously Jeremy Clarkson's got opinions about every car, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to be able to play two roles in the game, where we are known at Forza for our credibility, for our authenticity, for our accuracy. But Top Gear is known for their humor, and that allows the two of our brands to play off of each other and give players a much richer experience. Now the cars we selected for Auto Vista mode are extremely rare and extremely interesting. So this isn't where we put standard types of cars. We wanted this to be like an exhibit, an art gallery, a museum that's way more interactive. So the cars in here, they all fit different areas of car passion. And they're also so rare that if you don't have a car collection like Ralph Lauren or Jay Leno, these are cars you're never going to see in your life. You're certainly not going to be allowed to open up the doors, get inside, check out all the details around the stitching and the carbon fiber, and even reach your hand out and start it up. And Auto Vista gives you that experience. So our hope is, by using Connect or a controller, we're giving an experience that gets people to think about cars in an all-new way, and gets them more passionate about cars because they're exposed to cars they've never even heard of, like a Pagani or a Koenigsegg. There's many people in the world that are not car nuts that just don't even know what those are. Now to move on, I'd like to go into career for a second. And just as a quick demo, I think I'd like to show off a little bit of Connect Voice. So obviously Forza Motorsport has a lot of user interface, a lot of front end. You can go deep into the upgrade area and the tuning area. You can go deep into the paint shop, for example. And these are very, very deep screens. So let's go into upgrades, and like where tuning is set up. But if I wanted to paint the car right now in Forza Motorsport 3, I would have to hit back, back, back. I'd have to save my work, go down to painting, and then hit down, down, down. But with Xbox and Connect, it's actually much faster. Now, obviously my German pronunciation is not very good, so if Boris, if you would go take us to paint.
Xbox. Auto lackieren.
And right there, it saved my work and took me in the paint car area. Now this is a way of using Connect to actually open up the game to our most core Forza faithful players, players that really know the interface. This speeds up their ability to move throughout the game. Now obviously if you're giving a demonstration, it listens to me a lot, so sometimes it calls up. So what I'd like to also show you now is the World Tour mode itself. Now the car I'm in is a BMW M3, and this is actually my car. And this is to prove an important point. When I mentioned that you should find the 5 to 10 cars that matter to you, that could be your first car. Maybe it's the car you're a little bit ashamed of. And you're going to turn it into a Ferrari killer by upgrading it and having a great time in it. Or maybe it's the car you currently own, and you can then customize it in the game to look like the car you have in the real world. So I have black wheels like that on my car. This is the same black paint job with a blue metal fleck, and this is the same tinted windows. So this really does feel like my car. Now as I go through the World Tour mode, which is the new campaign, the new career mode in Forza Motorsport 4, there have been a lot of changes. In World Tour, we take you across the globe and take you to some of the best racetracks in the world. So that is places like the Nürburgring to Hockenheim, as well as in the United States with Infineon. We take them to UK with the Top Gear test track. And whenever you go to a new track, you have new challenges to do, such as Top Gear bowling, or autocross, or wheel-to-wheel racing against 12 other cars. But we offer up events that were made for the car that you're currently in. So if you love the BMW M3, like I do, you're going to get very BMW-focused events. So an E92 spec event, a history of M3 event, I'll get an M3 versus AMG event, I'll get a BMW versus Audi event, V8 event, rear-wheel drive event, so on and so forth. And what it means is, my career is completely different than yours based on the cars that you love. So for example, if you're driving an American muscle car, it's going to feel like an American muscle car game. If you're driving a Japanese tuner car, it's going to feel like a Japanese tuner car game. Now there's been another big change from Forza 3 to 4. In Forza 3, we gave you a gift car every level. And so we might give you a Ford, let's say a Fiat 500. And if you like that car, great. If you don't like that car, that's the car you got. In Forza Motorsport 4, we give you an option. So every time you hit levels, we give you an option of cars to choose from. So I might get to level 6, 7, something like that, and I'll get a choice between an AMG Mercedes, a BMW M3, and an Audi S4. And based on the cars I love, I'm going to make choices. So I might pick a BMW, for example. Maybe a BMW 2002 over an old Fairlady Z. And those two things combine to stoke car passion. There's a car affinity system, so as I'm actually playing in BMW, all of my parts for BMWs are free. And we found, as you play through the game, this starts building car passion. Now I mention all this stuff because you guys can go play through the career, and I think you're going to find as you play, you're going to make choices that are different than each other. So actually, as you look around, you might notice guys are driving different cars, and that means you're going to get different races, and your careers are totally different. So I don't really have a set presentation here. Every time I've gone to different press events, I kind of mix it up because it's a lot of press events and I've got to stay interested, so I mix up what I talk about. I wasn't really planning on covering physics, AI. I mean, there's so many features throughout the game. I'm happy to answer questions later. I will mention quickly that a lot of the innovation that has come into this game has come through partnership. And that came with maturing our process and maturing our studio and realizing that through partnership we could make the game far, far better than we possibly could as even one of the premier game studios in the world. Because partners bring in new ideas, they bring in new thoughts. So our new lighting model, for example, it's called IBL, Image-Based Lighting. And this came out of a partnership with Hollywood talent, as well as bringing in guys from Pixar. And this is actually how they do lighting in movies like Avatar and Toy Story 3, but it's not in gaming. We were able to integrate this and it makes the car look just perfect, just seated in the environment, because the car is now lit by the environment itself. Now we used partnerships to even make the physics better. We threw away all of our old tire data from Forza Motorsport 3 and got into a partnership with Pirelli. And what Pirelli gave us, we asked for custom tests. and they tested hundreds of tires, different widths, different heights, different compounds, different conditions, angles of attack, internal gas pressures, heats, cambers, you name it. And we got thousands and thousands of data points. Now, instead of us taking the data and us putting it into the game, we changed the system so the data could go straight into the game. Now, when you're driving the physics in Forza Motorsport 4, you are driving the most up-to-date, cutting-edge Pirelli data. Now, there's a reason we took this approach. I've talked to McLaren, I've talked to Ferrari, we swap notes with the engineers that make their simulators for training their pilots. And this is the same approach they have. Partner with a tire manufacturer to make their simulator better. So we're trying to make a simulator that is not just on the cutting edge of games, but on the cutting edge of simulators around the world. Better than what you'll find on the PC, better than you'll find on any other console. But we want the game to be easy and fun to play too. So we have that base physics model that we never compromise on. Always 60 frames per second. Always the most cutting edge physics. But we have auto braking, auto steering, we have other steering assists, we have throughout the game ways that make it easier so a 6-year-old can play, all the way to connect driving. But depending on how hardcore of a gamer you are or how experienced you are as a racer, you can turn them all off individually and drive the most cutting edge simulator you're going to find. And one last thing I want to mention is community, because again, this is just a big game. I'm trying to give you guys kind of an overview before you go and play it. Community has always been a focus of Forza Motorsport, and it's one of the things that we've been known for, not just in racing, but actually in the entire games industry. The things we've done with user-generated content, with painting, with the auction house, with storefront, these are being adopted by other genres as we've been leading the way with building community. And what it's led to is a game that's called an evergreen title, and that means that we always have hundreds of thousands of players every month. Even 2 years after the game shipped, we still have this incredible community. A big game will come out like Red Dead Redemption, we'll see our numbers drop down, and then 3 weeks later, they creep right back up to where they were. And that is because of the investment in community. And we've added new features for community. There's 16-player multiplayer, which is great for the racers, but it's also great for people that just want to play with cars. Because one of the secrets of our community is nearly 50%, half of the players aren't racing. They're playing cat and mouse, they're playing tag, they're playing virus. And if you go to our forums or you go to hardcore gaming forums, people say racing, racing simulation, racing, racing, racing. And we do that really, really well. But half of the players are doing these schoolyard games. So in this version, we added Top Gear Football. Top Gear Football works like you'd think. There's a ball in the middle of the pitch, there's goals on either side, and you use the cars to score. It's just a fun way to play with cars and gets people thinking about cars in a new way. Now, football is even more fun if you are in a car club, which is a new feature to Forza 4. In a car club, we can all be in a club together and we have a shared garage. So I can save up and buy the Enzo, you can save up and buy the Bugatti, and whether I'm online or not, you can all drive my Enzo, we can all drive your Bugatti. So together we have a cooperative shared garage that allows us to purchase really big car collections. But if you've got a painter in your club, it's even more powerful. So at work, we play a lot of Top Gear Football, and we play position. So it means in the backfield, we have X5s, Q7s, big SUVs. In the midfield, we use STIs and Evos, and in the front line, we use strikers that are hypercars like Lotus and Ferrari and Maserati. And the painter in our club paints all the jerseys for our cars, so we look like we're on the same team. Now, if you've got a great tuner in your club, and that's more what I tend to do, then that tuner will make all of the drivers faster, because I can listen to what a driver says and translate that into damping, downforce, spring rates, all of the tuning options in the game. So together as a club, we're much, much stronger. Now we have Rivals mode. There's a ton of new features that got into the game, but I'm tired of talking. So, I want to get you guys playing the game. One thing I'll mention, there is a video, kind of an anthem piece that starts when you start the career. Nobody's seen that yet. This is exclusive. You guys are seeing final builds, so this is final code. This is a proper preview event, so have a good time, explore the game. I'll be walking around to answer questions. We can do interviews. Have a good time. And I hope that you guys got warmed up on the BMWs, because that there as well is ways of using cars that aren't necessarily racing, but are damn fun. So anyway, thank you very much.